Welcome to the unnamed spin-off show of Dodger Debate. What do we think here, guys? You're the brain power.
He's already not Jack Harris.
I'm not Chuck.
Tell him who you are.
Jacques Caddies. My name is Dan Wikey, and I cover the Lakers, which means that I haven't been in Los Angeles much.
I'm Bill Plaschke, and this is Laker Lounge. I like that.
I like Laker Lounge.
What are they doing?
Dylan Hernandez, and I'm
Laker lackeys.
Laker lackeys.
Laker room. The Laker room? Like locker
No.
room, but Laker?
Yeah.
Guys, you have both seen the Lakers recently as we start the playoffs. Was asked an interesting question today by a colleague of ours. What do you expect out of this team? I'll let you guys start with that from kind of a little bit more of a 35,000-foot view. What do you expect from the Lakers this postseason?
I think they win the championship. They're the best team. They're playing the best basketball right now of any team. They have it all together. They have the coach has been brilliant. LeBron's been inspired. Luka's changed everything. Your best friend AR has been great. I just think they're the best team out there. I think there's no reason they can't win a championship. So I've got my going all the way to the end.
I mean, I think what makes this interesting, right, is that for the first time in a while, there's like legit like hope. I think, right? I think they have a pretty nice path to the conference final. I don't think they're better than Oklahoma City, but
Man, I play Oklahoma City.
right.
Yeah.
But they have Luka now, and that changes the dynamic, right? And you can win, right? If he just goes nuts, I could totally see them winning a 7-game series there. And so, to me, that's what this is about, right? It's because I think, the last handful of years, with the LeBron James, Anthony Davis thing, it was kind of like, okay, you got like one guy who's really old and another guy who's made of glass, and at some point something's going to go wrong, right? Something's going to happen to one of the two guys. And even a couple of years ago, right, they got to the conference final, and it was like, okay, they're going to get.
That was fun. I mean, they came through the play-in that year. They had,
Yeah.
that was the Russell Westbrook trade.
Right.
I think
But I think this year there's just kind of it feels like there's a possibility, right? of something
so.
happening.
I think one of my kind of theories I've landed on in my years covering the NBA is when it comes to energy around teams, especially this time of year, they're everybody in the playoffs, to a certain extent, can see the path for themselves. But the question is how hard do you have to squint to see it? How real is your belief? And I think right before the Luka trade, I was getting the sense within the Laker locker room that they thought they had a chance. They really did. They had just come off. I think they're in the midst of a pretty good winning streak. They'd been playing really, really good defense, about 15 or 18 games where they were the best defense in the NBA, even without Anthony Davis in some of those games. Kind of really found an identity. And one of the weird things that happened was right after the Luka trade, you would expect the Lakers, at least in the locker room, to be ecstatic. Not disrespectful to Anthony Davis and Max Christie, guys they like, but just ecstatic about, you're getting Luka Doncic. And that wasn't the immediate response. It was there was some mourning. And I think the mourning was from the fact that they had felt like they had kind of had a chance, and that was gone. I think really, really after the win in Dallas, Dylan, and you were there, I turned to you at one point during the game, and I was like, they've got a shot. They really do. And you could really feel that belief again with this new version of the team. And it's an all capital letter.
What did Dylan say to you after you said when you said that to him? What did you say to him, Dylan?
I think I said, I think they could win it. And you said tonight? I think is what you said. I was being more big picture. You were they were up 17 at the time. You're winning one on a limb is what you said.
Was Dylan watching the game at the time? Was he actually paying attention to the game?
What were you doing? I think you were reading.
I keep score. I actually
score.
Yeah,
You
I
keep
keep.
score.
I do I'm old.
You kept
school.
asking me if they had any Japanese prospects in the G League that you should be
please.
following around.
Going back to the time of the trade, though, maybe I'm wrong about this. I kind of took it more. It was just kind of there was just uncertainty, right?
No,
And,
they thought they had a chance.
and uncertainty. I mean, about each individual person, right in there. It's kind of where do I fit into this puzzle?
Sure.
It's just been,
Sure,
right.
there was an element of that. Well, that's part of it, right, Dylan? Is you pour all this time and effort into building one version of your team, right? You've made sacrifices. You've done different things. They had made the D'Angelo Russell trade for Dorian Finney-Smith, a really, really important
Great trade
for them this
Huge trade.
season. And I think guys had just fully invested into what they were doing. Obviously, you make this kind of trade, and remember, what's crazy about that deal, in justifying it, the Lakers and Rob Pelinka basically said, this isn't a trade for now. This is a trade for the future. It's turned out to be a trade for now as well. The belief, I think, is at a different level I think the Lakers have seen when I say the Lakers, I mean the players that were here prior to the Luka trade have seen what having that kind of player on their team does to their margins, what it does to their ceiling, what it does to their floor. And I think to Plashy's point, I mean, they feel like they can win a championship.
But there's one team out there, I think, that feels like just like they do. That feels just as inspired, just as revived, and that's Golden State.
Yeah,
Golden State's the team that would scare me the most. I don't think they can beat Golden State. I think they can, but that's their big robot is Golden State.
I don't know, man. Grandpa and great grandpa over there look like they used a lot of energy to get them to this point. I mean, they had to play in the play-in, man. The wheels are going to fall off that one.
Yeah, that was a dominant half of basketball they played in Memphis. Almost got them.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler was great in the playoffs. Jimmy Butler was great. In fact, you got the great photo of Jimmy Butler sitting on the
very tired Jimmy Butler in the bubble. The shot on an iPhone. You can hit me up, Apple. I
just don't like an old team getting in the play-in thing.
Okay, well, this is an older team that skipped the play-in too. That I think people is that know is scary is the Clippers.
Yeah.
And I think there's a real sense when you talk to teams around the NBA right now about how good the Clippers are, how good they played for the last 20 games, how good Kawhi Leonard has looked. I think what everybody fears is like the moment that happened in that, you mentioned that Memphis Golden State game where John Morant jumps, lands a little funny, rolls his ankle, and the game changes. This always happens to John Morant. It also almost always seems Kawhi Leonard. Right?
Correct.
If you could take one coach in town, would you take JJ or would you take Ty Lue?
I would take Ty Lue because he's won a championship. I think JJ still, and I think JJ would take Ty Lue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think, like, despite his beliefs in himself, Ty Lue's done an awesome job this year. The coaching in the city has been very good this season. But I think, like, that's what's interesting about the West is, the Lakers can believe that they can win the championship while at the same time knowing that Minnesota can beat them. Like, both things are true.
I don't think Minnesota can beat him. I don't think Anthony Edwards is mature enough. I don't think he's too unhinged.
He was so good in the playoffs last year. His hinge, he seems like a guy who would spend a lot of time on hinge. I don't know that he is. I think there's an element with Ant that he has that sort of combustibility that cuts both ways, where like he can win them multiple games. He's that good. But this is a guy who walked up to Barack Obama,
right,
and said, "I'm the best player in the world." You know what I mean? Like, I'm the best guy on the team. He operates like that sometimes. It's just what's interesting is, like, I think if the Lakers didn't have Luka, that kind of guy feels like there's space for that sort of player, and the Lakers don't have an answer to it. And at least not with the 40-year-old LeBron James, and with it's hard for big guys like Anthony Davis to take over games that way. The Lakers have that guy.
Yeah.
And they have that guy. They have LeBron James. I mean, we've seen at times Austin Reeves be that guy in fourth quarters of big games.
Indiana.
They have guys. And I think that, to me, is why I've kind of squared my belief that despite the fact that Minnesota only won one fewer game than the Lakers this year, despite the fact that they, I think, are one of either 3 or 4 teams in the NBA to have a top 10 rating in both offense and defense, which is usually you're a bona fide contender if you're one of those teams. The other teams are Boston, Oklahoma City, I think, and Cleveland, the elite of the elite. Despite all of that stuff, I kind of just trust the Lakers. And I think it's because I trust their decision-making around great players. You guys have seen this with, when this organization has had these big moments, and you've seen, Dylan, you mentioned, you credit to Ohtani the other day. Plashke, you've seen it with, all sorts of people in the city. How much faith do you have in Luka Doncic in a big game in Los Angeles to do the incredible?
I've got a ton of faith because he's done it before. He did it in Dallas. He's a big game player. He's shown that in Dallas time and again. He carried the Mavericks, an ordinary Mavericks team, to the NBA to the finals last year. I mean, he can do it himself. Yeah, he's so much fun. The Lakers are so much fun to watch. They weren't fun to watch for a long time.
Yeah,
there's so much fun to watch. LeBron, great player, never really fun to watch. Luka, you just
a battering ram.
It's just so fun to watch Luka.
Yeah, but going back to that Dallas game, right? I mean, Luka has that big first half. What do you have, 31 at the half?
31 and a half. Yeah.
Right, but kind of at the end, down the stretch of that game, it was LeBron James, and so kind of if you're the other team, you got to deal with if one guy's coming at you, and when he kind of runs out of gas a little bit, then it's the other guy.
Sorry, I'm just looking at your hair.
That's a lot.
Why are you looking at Dylan's hair? You did Pat Riley hair for our
Well, the problem is that I can't find no one sells hair gel anymore. It seems, at least not where I go to the type of cheap
You
stores
don't
that
have
I've
a
been to.
you don't have a computer.
No, so
You looking for LA looks?
yeah,
some
some like
Dep.
yeah, some just kind of like light.
We're not
This is-
hair.
this is-
I'm not part of this hair discussion. I'm not.
When was the last time you combed your hair, Bill?
I don't have a comb. It takes them 10 minutes. It takes 10 minutes to give me a haircut. I get that every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. I'm out of the chair about 7:10.
Why don't you go for the Stan Kasten look? Like just grow it out on the side.
Oh, speaking of Lakers, I thought about this today. This is the anniversary of a great Laker moment. I think it's the 30th anniversary, 35th anniversary. Remember, at this time of year, every time a team loses, what does everybody say? What is it? What
1, 2, 3, Cancun.
I was there for that. I covered him that.
That's the Nick Van Exel one, right? Credited to?
We did because Utah Jazz before Game 4 in '98. That's when he just shot to Nick Van Exel. He had a good career. He was a great player for many years.
He's a coach now. He's coaching.
And he was really. It's a bad rap thing, and his whole career is based on that. But that was a Laker before they played.
Is that true? Like that really happened? That's just not an urban legend?
No, it really happened. It happened before Game 4 against the Utah Jazz.
Excellent.
They were down 3-0.
What a league.
They were getting swept. It was when Shaq and Kobe were still trying to play against each other.
Yeah.
It was they were struggling. Del Harris didn't have control of the team. Yeah, he said it. Right?
That's awesome. This team does not have 1, 2, 3 Cancun vibes. They have more like 1, 2, 3 Cleveland vibes, which is weird. No one's ever chanted that excitedly. But I think, we're getting way far out of ourselves. You mentioned how it's like sort of set up we are set up for a very narrative rich postseason, right? Like where there's a world in which LeBron James goes through, and I say LeBron James because he'll be on the lead of the poster. But LeBron James and the Lakers go through Anthony Edwards in the first round. They will have
Steph Curry,
they'll have to take on Steph Curry in the second round. Either the Clippers, perhaps, or Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP, and then either Cleveland or Boston. You guys might both have to go to those games.
Both?
And more. If they play the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals.
No, of course we're in the finals, of course.
Or the Cleveland Cavaliers. Potts, we might have to get you there.
Yeah, I think we're going to.
Are you coming to Minneapolis with me, Flash?
No. I understand and do the.
Dylan wants to go see the Angels play when we're in Minneapolis, by the way. He's trying to talk me into go see the Angels play baseball.
That's a great
Day game.
Carbon Field's a great stadium.
Yeah, go day drinking.
Before we let you guys go, let me get your picks for the series. I will make some version of one. I don't like doing this, but let's hear your picks.
Lakers sweep.
Lakers sweep.
Sweep.
Wait, Dan, you turned to Dylan during a game and told him to win it all. Now you're afraid to say something on the podcast?
I didn't think I'd say it out loud.
Say it.
It's just Laker room talk. Again, it's just Laker room talk. I cannot be held responsible for anything I say.
I think
that's a good name, by the way, for the record.
I think they win 5 games against Minnesota. Are you one to prediction by Minnesota strictly?
Yeah, you like 5 games?
5 games, and Dylan's going to cover both games in Minnesota.
I think it's either 5 or 6
sure
games. But my hunch is that it will, like, the margin of victory will be like under 15 points. Like, they will be very, very close, very, very competitive games. I just trust the Lakers in those games. I think ultimately, like, if it gets down to the wire, I really, really believe in them in close games, and they've been great in big games this season. They've been really, really good in big games. They've lost like 2 or 3 only. They've been a good big game team. Guys, we should do this again in the playoffs. What do you say?
Sounds good, but Dylan makes a good point. LeBron James is one stub toe away from Vietnam. I mean,
sure,
but this is the thing.
That's
They
true for
do have like Luca now.
They have,
yeah, but they gotta have LeBron. They gotta have LeBron.
But I think just kind of right.
But a stub toe is a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have more margins for that. Like before this trade, they didn't have those.
Yeah, because I think it's a Kawhi thing, right, for the Clippers, and I don't.
They've been great without Kawhi.
I know this city doesn't care about the Clippers, but just to,
it's so weird.
It does because I think that there is that ticking time bomb feeling there, right? And frankly,
that's for sure.
Until they can actually get to a finals, I think we're always going to kind of look at that team with suspicion, just because, because we've seen the Clippers play really well before, right? There have been times during Kawhi's reign here where you're thinking like they can win a championship, and then inevitably somebody gets right. One of the big 2 guys, now one of them's gone now, but right, one of those big 2 will get hurt, and then like inevitably they just kind of go off the rails. And I think that
I really like this Clipper team.
If you can, the thing is, if they stay healthy, right, like I mean,
They could for
I don't
sure
know.
make
To
the,
me,
they could make the finals.
Why does
Yeah,
nobody
to me-
why does
they-
nobody care about him? Why does nobody care?
I can answer that question. I mean, I spent 6 years of my career covering them. I think that they are in this weird space where they are a bigger national story than they're a local
Yeah,
story,
they are.
which is
Why?
which is a strange place to be. Well, because they were here second, and they were here second at a time when the Lakers were awesome. The Lakers were as Los Angeles like grew into the early versions of the city that it is today. Like the Lakers were here for like the Beach Boy era of the Lakers.
But not
you know what I
even-
mean?
they weren't,
Of the
right?
city.
But it wasn't just that. It was that the Clippers were such crap for so long.
It was both.
Like, they
They
were
came and they
really
stunk.
bad, and
Yeah.
then even kind of this this good Chris Paul, Blake Griffin.
That was the
era
team I covered.
Lost City.
right ends with really the Sterling thing, right? It ends
Sure.
with like embarrassment.
There was a lot of embarrassment on the
know,
court too, but yeah.
And so, yeah, like I think they just kind of have this there's like a, unfortunately, because actually I think, right, you look at kind of that, I mean, starting from the owners, probably like one of the better, might be the best owner in the city.
Best
Yeah.
in the city,
Right.
Best owner in the
You
city.
talk
He
to him,
cares and he lets people do their job.
yeah, and you talk to him, it's like, okay, he's not like some kind of like out of touch bozo, right?
Very normal.
The front office seems to be doing a good job there. Yet, I think the brand, unfortunately for them, is kind of the brand, right? There's a stench of like loserness attached to that brand. I think they should have rebranded.
Change the name?
Yeah,
I thought their
absolutely.
rebrand was really good, like in terms of like.
But
I
you got
thought-
they're still the Clippers.
I thought they should have moved to Seattle.
Well, that's a hell of a rebrand.
No. Oh, here's one step. I'll give you that.
What about Mars? What if Elon Musk buys them and
The one
sends them
step
to
I
Mars?
cannot believe. The Clippers have a new arena. They were last in the league in attendance. Dead last in attendance.
Yeah, well, they kind of went out to the middle of nowhere.
It's hard to get there. It's hard.
I mean, it's far out that way. It's. I mean, from downtown. I mean, from the
Then you got to-
center of the city downtown.
So to answer why I think people don't care about the Clippers in this way, right? I do, and by the way, the people that do care about the Clippers care very
They
passionately,
love them. Man.
right? Is I just think like when you're a casual, like you usually just have room for one, and like the Lakers have always been much better at maintaining casual
I've
relationships.
always been bothered by the fact that Laker fans, instead of just ignoring the Clippers, they hate the Clippers. Why do they hate the Clippers? The Clippers aren't even a threat to them. Why do they hate them?
Well, because they got good. They had that stretch where they were really good.
Man, why do you got to cheer against them?
The
Just ignore them. Don't cheer
okay.
against them.
Well, here I'm gonna go overtime on. Can I go overtime on one quick question? This discussion literally today? Somebody asked me. This is why I don't want to see the Lakers play the Clippers in the playoffs. I just don't want this. Like, I don't want to like litigate why the Clippers people don't care because it's fraught. Would you want a Clippers Lakers series?
yeah.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
What are
absolutely.
you talking about?
Are you kidding me?
These are two guys that hate their airline miles and their Marriott points.
Oh, so it's all about. That's all about.
Oh no! Well, you know what? Hey, you know what it is, Plash. We love our children.
All right. Thank you for watching Lake Room Talk.